Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Reboni and today I am going to give a bonus episode or a bonus video of the week. What I'm going to do with this channel is that I'm going to give you guys 2 videos a week. That is Tuesday and Thursdays, and then I will have one bonus episode which will be a story time of a time I did some foolishness or a time somebody else was foolish towards me or in my presence. I'm not going to mention names because, to keep people's privacy. Today's story time is about a time someone spat in my face. I am smiling right now, but it was not something that I was smiling about at the time. That thing sat with me for months. I was traumatized from that. Okay, let me explain how things happened. I was in town. I don't remember exactly why I was in town, but at the time I was going through this HIV diagnosis, stress, depression phase, and while I was in town, I guess it hit me hard that I was in it, and I cried, believe it or not. I don't know if I cried and I don't think people saw me because I used to be amongst a lot of people, but nobody could really notice me. I was good at that. So I catch a taxi and I'm going to Marabastad, from town to Marabastad, and I catch it right in the middle of town. And then I catch a taxi that had three people inside, and I was the 4th person. So I find some guy sitting in the middle. It was a Siaya taxi, not the Karakara or the other ones, the old ones, or Inyati. It was Siaya taxi, and the guy is sitting in the middle, and then there's a foreigner who was sitting at the back, and I was sitting in between the foreigner and those 2 guys, one guy and his friend. So while I was sitting there, I realized I came into the taxi, the guy with the 2 guys just going in on the foreigner guy, and I don't say anything because it's none of my business, first of all. And I was just crying. I don't care what is happening in that taxi. All I care about is my problems, and I'm deep in my thoughts about things happening in my life. I do not care about any of those things that is happening in that taxi. But anyway, in my home language, ditsebe adina skrumelo, so I was listening. I could hear everything that was going on in that taxi. So the guy says to the guy who's with his friend, he keeps on saying some hurtful things to the guy, to the foreigner guy. He says that he smells bad and he doesn't bath and all those things. I think that the guy has, mustiness issues. He, although he probably did bath, but since it was hot, and some people just have issues where their underarm smells bad. It wouldn't have anything to do with you not bathing or anything. I know this because I have been there. I've been in a place where I would use a lot of things, and my family most of the time would suggest different things that I could use to pass through that stage. But I eventually got a product that was good for my underarms, and ever since I have not had that same issue. Anyway, back to the guy, and yeah, he was going in on the guy, and I think it was personal for him because he probably did not like foreigners. So he went in on the guy from town until Marabastad. And then when the guy was about to get off at Marabastad, he was trying to get my approval, and he was asking me, you know, questions about the guy, and I'm like, I don't know. He was trying to get me involved, get me to comment bad things about the guy, and I just looked at him and I said, I don't know. And when he made his jokes that were not so funny but were actually hurtful, I wouldn't even laugh at those jokes or even smile, but I would just look at him and just stare at him to show him that what you're doing is not right. And I guess that got to him, and a few minutes after the foreigner guy left, he was about to get off himself, and he started going in on me. Just before he got out, he started going in on me, like, yeah, you don't even look out. He said, you even look like you're sick. You are, yeah, you look like you have AIDS. Your eyes are red, like you have TB, and a lot of things that, what, he didn't know what I was going through in that moment, but he really, really went in on the things that I was going through at that time. And to me, I'd say, yeah, I matched his energy. I did. I matched his energy. He like cursed at me with like big words, and I also went in on him. I returned his energy. And by the time he was about to get out of the taxi, he then leaned in when I was where I was sitting, and I did not see him coming because I was looking the other direction because I didn't even want to look at him. And he spat in my face, you know. And I had, at the time, he didn't know this because sometimes things happen and people would just touch the right buttons, but they wouldn't even know that, this is the right button for me to touch. But I really believe that guy was demon possessed, and the demon really knew how to get to me. And I had a thing about being spat on. At the time, I was watching reality TV shows, and I think there was a scene where, who's this person? What's her name? Nene Leakes was in a situation with Kenya Moore, and she said that I spat on you, and that was a mercy. And I don't remember exactly what she said, but like spitting on Kenya was the ultimate disrespect. I mean, like anyone would agree that someone spitting on you is the ultimate disrespect. And I had never ever imagined that somebody would spit on my face. And oh my gosh, it was so disgusting. It was so disgusting. I did not even have a tissue. I had to remove it with my clothes. I was I was mad. I was angry. I was fuming. I was everything I had to be in that moment. And afterwards I felt bad because ultimately I matched his energy, and he dragged me to his level. Let me say that. He dragged me to his level, and he really succeeded. The only thing I did not do after he spat on my face was spit on him back. I was just shocked that it happened. I felt like I was dreaming. I was like, oh my gosh, this guy really spat in my face. Like, who does that? I was shocked. I was like, oh my gosh, this guy must be crazy. I'm looking at him getting out of the taxi, and I'm still shocked. And I'm like, am I dreaming? At the same time, I'm going through my own stuff, and I'm like, man, this whole thing must be a dream. Probably I'm even dreaming about my diagnosis. Like, this cannot be real. What is going on? And I just looked at him, and as he left, I looked at him, and the taxi driver was just as shocked as I was. As shocked as I was. And he laughed. Good for him, because it was funny, but for me, mm-mm. I was I was angry, and that thing sat with me for months. It sat with me for months, and the smell of his spit. Thank God I don't remember the smell of the spit now. That sat with me for a long time as well. But otherwise, I don't really think the guy knew what he was doing at the time. I would love to believe that, he could just look at me and be like, this girl has HIV, this girl is going through things, this girl is doing that and that and that. But I really believe there was a demon inside that guy that knew exactly what I was going through, and the demon was able to, or the spirit, let me just say, the spirit was able to press the right buttons in order to get me to behave exactly the way the guy behaved towards me. But otherwise, we go through things in life. We go through things in life, and yeah, that's basically how the story went. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. See you next time.